Toronto, 2026. Members and friends of the Burundian community in Canada gathered to mark 54 years since one of Africa's least known mass atrocities, the 1972 genocide against the Hutu people of Burundi.
Today we are here to honor the memories of the victims, also to stand in solidarity of the survivors and make sure there is enough awareness so things like this do not happen again.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, survivors and descendants and community leaders and friends, it is with deep respect and heavy heart that I welcome you to this commemoration of the 54th anniversary of the 1972 genocide against the Hutu in Burundi.
I did talk to some people, but almost all of them, no one knew even there have been a massacre in Burundi in 1972.
That is the reason of this event today exactly, because one of the challenges we have had over the last 54 years, it is a half a century, is that people have been forced into silence. Let me describe it a little bit more clearer. When the genocide happened, the people who planned the genocide, the perpetrators, they carefully planned it in such a way that after the genocide, there will be nobody to tell the story. The plan that was elaborated at that point, also called as Plan Sibandani, it was to ensure that there will be no Hutu who can have any level of education, any level of leadership for the next 100 years. So if we are able to speak about it and bring awareness at this point, today is 54 years old, so we're now 100 years yet. I think we are making a lot of progress.
At this conference, the Burundian community brought together a remarkable panel of scholars, clergy, and community voices to bear witness alongside the survivors. Among them, Dr. Janine Ntihirageza, professor and director of the Center for Genocide and Human Rights Research in Africa and the Diaspora at Northeastern Illinois University, Father Biriruka, pastor at St. Sebastian Catholic Parish, Archdiocese of Miami, Florida, Dr. Fabien Sishahayo, professor of French as a second language at the Royal Military College of Canada, Birchmans Nijimbere, retired public officer, philanthropist and writer, and Thomas Gahungu, human resource professional, writer and singer. Also present was Colette Rushinsky, adjunct instructor and researcher at Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago, a woman who spent years in Burundi, collecting the testimonies of survivors the world had never heard.
I felt that because I had the privilege of finding this hidden history, I was obligated to share with as many people as possible because the voices have been silenced for so long. It's hard to limit just one or two stories because the people of Burundi are so much part of my heart now because they showed me their wounds. But I would say that each testimony is incredible, but one woman particularly, she was so brave. She kept fighting for her land, and she kept going back and back and back again, trying to get what was hers. And then in 2023, the perpetrators decapitated her son, and she found his head by a riverbank. And I think about that because we always say never again. But it happened in 2023. So how can we say never again when it has not stopped?
What can be that message of reconciliation can give them today?
I feel like I wouldn't be able to adequately explain that, but I can tell you what I've learned. When I've been working with Dr. Teregeza, I really struggled with the forgiveness element of it, especially because I see her struggling and looking for her father and brothers. And I asked her, I said, Janine, how can you go on and not have anger in your heart? And she said, Colette, when somebody hurts a person to this level, you have to think about what has happened to them to make them feel like this is what they have to do. And in that moment, Janine changed my whole perspective, because if a woman who lost her father, her brothers, her peace, her land, can find forgiveness,
Yes.
a storyteller has no business bringing hate, just awareness.
Today we are in 2026. If you have a message to tell to all Burundians, either they were on the bad side or in the right side on that day, what can be that message?
Muze tuvugane, which means let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's not keep bearing these deep wounds. They are real, they are painful, so it's time to expose them, because in Kirundi we say, uja gukira ingwara arayirata. If you're going to heal, you have to talk about that illness. Otherwise, it festers. The deep wounds will fester, and people will get sicker and sicker from the disease, from the deep wounds, the atrocities.
Beyond testimony and academic research, the conference raised a direct political demand. The Burundian Parliament and Senate have already officially recognized the 1972 events as genocide, but that recognition has not yet reached the United Nations, and Canada, despite welcoming thousands of survivors as refugees, has not included this genocide on its official list of commemorated atrocities.
It is one of our hope that at some point in the future, in the near future, this list that the Canadian government has established of genocide that need to be taught in school in April, that need to be remembered in Canada, we can also add this genocide, not just because it happened, but also because Canada has been so generous to bring thousands of survivors as a refugee to bring them to Canada. That was very generous of Canada. Now we expect them to understand what the grievance in these people, what made them to be refugees in the first place, and then recognize that historic reality.
I would suggest to you, JP mentioned that very few people know where Burundi is. I would suggest you members of Parliament would be hard-pressed to know of the 1972 genocide. So I would conclude by saying, talk to your member of Parliament. You may want to also, as an organization, revisit coming to the Subcommittee on Human Rights.
Also present at the conference was Evariste Ngendankengera, chargé d'affaires at the Embassy of Burundi in Ottawa.
La reconnaissance de cette tragédie ne relève pas d'une simple opinion, mais repose sur des faits solidement établis. Dans ce rapport du 20 décembre 2021, la Commission Vérité et Réconciliation du Burundi a officiellement qualifié cet événement de 1972 de génocide. Aujourd'hui, les débats ne sont pas seulement académiques sur ce sujet, mais aussi les débats touchent à des questions fondamentales de mémoire, de justice, de réconciliation et de reconnaissance des souffrances de toutes les victimes.
My last word is I want to thank everyone who has made this possible, and I am hoping that wherever they were able to hear from this presentation, from this conference, will help people to have more understanding. And as we go forward, once you have understanding, once you have information, you are able to make sound decisions, and you also to understand the people you work with. Because you may meet people with trauma in the workplace or even in your daily life. They may behave a certain way, and you don't understand, you just say, these people are just like that. But understanding the trauma that these people have been through, it can help us build a better society, a more inclusive society in Canada.